Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for another episode of the Sunday Spin. As always, the Sunday Spin is brought to you by our fantastic sponsors. That's Grooves Records in San Francisco and What's Left Records in the 719 Colorado Springs. Speaking of what's left, just off a fine day on Saturday, shelving out the wax. It's our man Greno. Greno, how are you this afternoon, buddy? It's great to see you.
Doing great, man. Wonderful day yesterday at the shop. Thanks for asking. It's a Saturday at What's Left is always super awesome. People come in, they want to shop, they want to talk about music, and I couldn't be more blessed to be a part of the team. So I want to thank Team Ostro, of course, and What's Left Records, and then my folks up in San Francisco getting some ink recently.
Yes,
quite
sir.
a bit, actually. The Kevin Chanel and Grooves Records in San Francisco. Gosh, Vinny, I can't wait to when we get a chance to go out and hang out in San Francisco and go to Grooves Records together.
Tickety talk, it's only a matter of time. And listen, speaking of team, we're one short this afternoon. Unfortunately, our pal Nikki couldn't make it. Thoughts to Nikki, who unfortunately broke her arm last night.
Man, punk rock casualty. We're gonna have to write a Mulligans tune inspired by our friend Nikki and cohort here on the Sunday Spin. Yeah, Nikki, well wishes for you. We love you. We miss you, and we know you'll be back with us soon. And man, you just keep going, Nick. You do it, girl. I saw a picture of her sitting on the curb, and there was an ambulance, and I didn't put the whole thing together until today. And yeah, Nick, we're thinking about you. And wow, crazy, huh? Man,
crazy world of punk rock, right?
It's nuts. And I'm really excited about today's show, Vinny. I know you are too.
Absolutely. Long time coming.
Yeah. So without further ado, let's bring in our guest. This is the newest roster attendee for Anonymous Collective. This guy's a fantastic musician and really good drummer, and he's been doing a lot of recording on his own, putting out a new album, but he'll tell you all about that. Let's bring him in right now. Your friend, my friend, Shane Smitty Smith. And
hey guys, what's up?
What's up, buddy? How are you?
Good to see everybody.
Welcome to the Sunday Spin.
Yeah, it's an honor to be here. I really appreciate you guys having me on today.
Yeah, absolutely. So you were mentioning kind of a rainy day there, and
yeah, out in Castle Rock, it's kind of just been a rainy day. So my wife and I have kind of just been being lazy, lounging around the house. Nothing too exciting today.
If there's anyone who deserves a day off, Smitty, it's you. First off, I want to congratulate you because, as you may or may not know out there, Anonymous Collective's newest artist, Smitty, dropped his debut for the label this week. It was on Friday. The word is tremendous, Smitty. Congratulations.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Yeah, I've been keeping track on iTunes and Spotify and all that. It seems to be doing pretty decent. I'm pretty happy with it so far, and thank you guys for helping me with it. Yeah,
super.
Yeah,
great. You know, the theme of the whole record itself is just right, Vinny. Is tremendous. You know, sounds of Mile High. I mean, and you're also like in the song titles. You know, talking about specific places and giving geographical. You know, kind of resonance and like. You know, music to go with it. You know, I was touched by the whole project just as a fan, you know, and to have it on the label, I know Vinny feels the same way. It's just, it's a really nice addition. And we really want to encourage people to go out on all the platforms and experience it. That's the thing I wrote too on our Instagram is I said, go experience this music. It's not just about listening. I mean, you can, again, it could be a companion for so many different activities. And I'm just curious, and I'm sure Vin is too, was that kind of the intention behind it? Or was that something that came together as you were working on the project?
You know, it originally, when I originally started it, I kind of intended it to be a little bit more of like a yoga kind of meditation kind of an album. actually started out as my wife's idea. My wife's big into yoga, and she likes to do like, I don't know if you've ever done it or heard of it, but they do like yoga on the rocks and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, she always listens to the music, and it's like when she's doing her yoga, and it's like I'd love to try and do something like that. And so that was kind of the original idea. And as I started creating it, it kind of became a little less that aspect of things, and it kind of just became more of kind of just like a chill album that you have, you know, when you're studying or doing something else that you have on in the background while you're listening. And a lot of the songs, like there's a song called Angels of Alma, and all of the nature sounds and stuff that you hear in that song, I actually like recorded. I did my best. I actually recorded while I was in the town of Alma. So my band was playing. Kyle Chatham and the Road Shots was playing at a festival out there, and while I was there, I was like just recording the nature sounds and stuff like that. And so I tried to make a lot of that where I was at the time, and then name the track after that. You know, so yeah, it's really meant to be just something that you just hang out and listen to. You know, an experience, like you said. Actually, I really like the way you worded that. Yeah.
Well, I love the way he worded atmospheric.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I had to use one adjective myself, that would be the one. And
Okay,
and
like
Glenn
that.
and I, Glenn and I were talking before we had you come on, and one of the things that we were most impressed with is the atmospheric quality of the record is unlike something we've ever had up until very, very, very recently with a couple of our newer artists.
Yeah.
And it's really allowing us to broaden the horizon here at AC, which has been so vital because we've been doing what we've been doing for a very long time.
Yeah.
In a very specific genre. We're really branching out with some great examples, and yours is definitive, Smitty. And I got to congratulate you for it because it's a masterpiece. It's a work of art.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I appreciate that. And I know the you guys forgive me, I can't think of the name off the top of my head, but that Space album that just came out too, that was really cool. Like I heard that and I was like, man, I feel like my stuff's gonna fit in pretty well because like it's all doing this cool unique thing with AC right now, and it's just cool, all the unique stuff that we seem to be doing, you know.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to put it because until this year, you know, our stuff was a lot more rock based and we did have more experimental stuff. But yeah, so we started out in January. January 1st was Whatever Happens EP from Prefab Soul. And then we followed that up with Mob the Vigil's album, Cleanse Bronca. And then, The Color of Space. And thank you for that. Yeah, that's a project I'm doing with a friend. I appreciate that. And then your album. So that's like 4 really kind of blockbuster, unique, atmospheric kind of ambient records that came out on our label. And I want to say like yours capped it off in a really profound way because it's like it's going to be the soundtrack to my summer, man. So,
oh man, I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to let you know a lot of people are tuning in right now, and we're also getting comments and stuff. So we'll get to those in a few. Some shout outs to people that are watching and just some really loyal fan base that we're generating on the Sunday Spin, and we really appreciate you guys. And Smitty, they're here to see you, man. That's the thing. That's what we love about the Spin, right, Vin? It's about
the man of the hour, right? Exactly. The man.
I tried to tell some people to tune in, so I hope I got a couple people here.
Well, if there's one thing we know, Smitty, you have quite the fan base.
Yeah,
and that's why you're an enormous catalyst in this new revitalization of Anonymous Collective, which has been nothing but fabulous. It's actually the biggest breath of fresh air, and I'm sure Glenn would agree with me on this, that we've had in a very, very long time. And once that wheel gets spinning, and once the rock falls down the hill, it only gains momentum. And you're going to be a big part of this. And Glenn and I are grateful.
I'm grateful for you guys, man. I remember when Glenn messaged me like originally asking if I wanted to be a part of the crew, and I was like, dude, I've been, please, man, please text me, man. I was so excited when I got that. I was so yes, I'm grateful for you guys, man.
Well, we want to really, Smitty, we want to make a point of talking about the beginning.
Yeah.
This is your week. It's a biography. Glenn and I would love to know, and I'm sure our audience would love to know, where does it begin for you? And I always like to ask this question, first musical memory. Smitty, can you give us that one?
Oh, wow. Okay. First musical memory. Yeah. When I was really young, my parents followed a local rock band called Fragile X, and their drummer is a close family friend, and they were playing actually Castle. I live in Castle Rock now, but I was born and raised in Parker, and every year there's an event called Parker Days where it's kind of like just a local festival, and they have bands and everything like that, and they were playing that day. And after their set at Parker Days, the drummer Sean, I don't remember. I was like 3 years old.
Wow.
They let me sit behind his kit and bang on some drums, and then my birthday was like a month or two after that, and I was really into it, and so my parents bought me. I don't remember the Parker Days thing, to be honest with you, but my parents bought me a drum set for my 4th birthday, and that is definitely my first musical memory is this drum set that I had, and I guess they didn't even need an alarm clock to get up to go to work in the morning. I would already be up banging on the drums, and they'd be like, "Oh, Shane's up and he's playing drums. It's time to get out of bed."
Well, the funny thing about that, Smitty, is the age of 4.
Yeah.
You don't think about, hey, I shouldn't be playing the drums at 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
You don't. You're 4, right?
Yeah.
But
That's
amazing. That's amazing. Now I'm gonna put you on the spot. Do you remember what color the drum set it was?
I do actually. It was silver. I mean, it was some like warm. I mean, it wasn't anything crazy. It was like a Walmart drum set kind of a thing,
right.
And it was silver. And then on the bass drum head, it was blue, and it had like some stars and a moon on it. Now, to be fair, I have to admit I kind of cheated. There's a picture of me playing that drum set, so like I remember it from the picture. I had a you can't tell now because my hair is short, but I had a decent little fro going on, and so yeah.
That's
fabulous. Fabulous.
Oh, that's
4 years old, Breno. Can you imagine?
Oh, it's
little
great.
Smitty waking his parents up, right?
That's rock and roll roots, It's like that's wonderful, and I know too that other instruments, you've picked up along the way, and then producing, recording your own music, and is that something that you just over time that you've kind of worked on and kind of acquired these? They're basically skills. I mean, they're things that allow you to not just be they say just the drummer. It's like I play drums too, and it's like no, we can do a lot more than that, and a lot of us do. So maybe speak a little bit about that and songwriting and just whatever you'd like to cover on that.
I mean, drummer first and foremost, obviously, but I mean, I did take 2 years of piano. So I mean, I can get by on the piano. I don't necessarily claim to be a piano player by any means, but I can get by playing the piano. I can play some bass. I can get by on bass too. I suck at guitar. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I can't play guitar to save my life. That's I do try and do some, not necessarily any crazy singing, but I do try and do a little bit of like background vocals, especially for like live recordings, live performances. But I haven't been doing that as much recently. When I used to play in a rock band, I used to play in a band called Altitude Travelers, and I would do some background vocals for that. But other than that, I mean, I play the drum kit, and I do like to dabble. Glenn, I know I'm pretty sure we have the same tongue drum, and so I do like to play like the cajon and the bongos and the congas and stuff. Get into a little bit more of the percussion side of things too. That's something that I enjoy doing a lot. Yeah, and then as far as production goes, that's kind of just something that I've just learned along the way. So it all started, like I said, at my parents' house. That's where Kyle Chatham and the Road Shots rehearses, and it's in their basement. And I'm very fortunate and blessed to just have some really, really awesome parents. And their basement is basically just a little DIY recording studio jam sesh or jam room, And so
That's
yeah,
awesome.
I just picked up a lot of the production stuff along the way. Just buy something and mess with it, and oh, that sucks, delete that and try again until it sounds good. And I also
Magnificent.
I learned a lot of production from I was talking about earlier, my family friend from Parker Days, who I played on his drum kit. He also has his own little recording studio, and he taught me a lot of that end of things as well. So yeah, that's kind of all of that.
Terrific.
That's great.
Jim, I would really like to delve into a little bit about the production process
Yeah.
in your mind and in your skill set and everything else. If you don't mind, take a quick minute and kind of walk us through the process. Do you have a set characteristic that you run through? Do you run through it in a certain motion? Is it more free foam? Is it a hybrid? But how would you say you go about your normal DIY recording process?
Man, that is a tough one.
It is, yeah.
I'd say it's kind of a hybrid thing, especially with like the sounds of Mile High and those more experimental sounding albums. It's so experimental that it's never necessarily been okay, I'm gonna do this exact way. It's kind of just more like I don't know. I'll have like an idea of a song in my head, and I'll like just start by just kind of playing on my MIDI piano and just kind of finding sounds that I like, and just kind of start tinkering with things, and then it's like oh I when I recorded the nature sounds, I actually did it all just on my phone recording, and so some of those recordings I would hold up to. I have a Rode RODE microphone that I really love. That thing. I don't know if you guys have ever played with any of those microphones, but those things pick up anything and everything. I mean, so it'll kind of just start out. Just it'll start out very free form, and then once the idea starts to come together, I'll have it in my head more, and then it kind of comes together as more of a thing. But then with like music, I'd say I use Pro Tools. That's kind of my go-to recording studio thing, and I do a lot of like I've produced several podcasts, and that's kind of an easier thing though. It kind of just put a microphone in front of some people and let them talk. But I mean, yeah, I keep it pretty experimental, I suppose. I know it's a tough one.
I think you answered it very well, especially the part about the podcasting, because you're right. We're going to just sit back here and we let our guests talk, and that's why the show is the way the show is. I mean, it's not about us, it's about our guests, as any good podcast would be. But one thing, Greno, that Shane hasn't mentioned, and I definitely want to do this, it being Sunday, is I also know he takes part in a worship band at his church.
Yeah.
He's very active in that. And that's also something to be applauded. So, give us 30 seconds about that, Schmitty.
Yeah, man, tell us about that.
Yeah, well, let's see. I started out playing in a worship band. I played in a lot of worship bands. I started out playing in a worship band called The Noise, and they were a cool group of dudes. They played in like a rock and roll band, a rock and roll worship band called Random Hero. I don't know if you've heard of them at all, but they're a cool group of guys. And I started doing all of that, and then just a couple years ago, I just kind of I have a Jeep, and my Jeep has like a license plate of like, oh, I'd rather be playing my drums. You know, it's like it's very clear that I'm a drummer. And this guy came up to me and he's like, "Hey, we're looking for a new drummer at church. Any chance you're interested?" And yeah, so that's out in Elizabeth, out at Pine Valley Church, and I help out there when I can. You know, yeah, I can't quite get out there every weekend, but I try my best.
That's great, though. That's
Yeah,
it's awesome that you're contributing and like
yeah,
bringing a spiritual side to your music.
yeah.
It's
It's been great. I've been really blessed to have that be a part of everything. Reno, you'll appreciate. They got me on an electronic kit, which is a little bit of a learning curve for me in its own way, but
yeah,
it's been well. I really a good group of guys, good pastor, just a good crew over there.
yeah. I've seen a bunch of photos of you rocking, and I've noticed, yeah, the electronic kit. I was like, oh, that's cool. I bet you're making it sound awesome, man.
It's interesting, but yeah, I mean, you get it right. You know, you kind of tinker with the sound a little bit until you get it quite right. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, you're getting a lot of comments. I'm like, I got to find my glasses here. Let's
While Glenn's grabbing his glasses, yeah, absolutely. Smitty, I got a question for you. Off the top of your head, your 3 favorite drummers, and one of them can't be the man to my left, Greno. Favorite drummers of your era.
Greno. 3.
Mine too, yeah.
You guys are funny.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one.
We don't ask any Mickey Mouse questions here on the Sunday Spin.
No,
I'll tell you that, Shane.
Oh man, my 3 favorite. You know, John Bonham's got to be in there for sure. You know, I mean, I'm a big Zeppelin guy.
Sure.
Yeah. I'm a big Gene Krupa guy. I like the old
Great
school
answer.
Krupa.
Great
Yeah.
answer. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I got one of his albums on vinyl. My dad found it at Goodwill, and that's a good one to jam out too.
Yeah.
John Bonham, Gene Krupa. Oh man, I feel basic saying it, but I gotta say like Neil Peart from Rush or something like
Sure.
that. You know? Yeah,
We've had many a drummer on our show who has mentioned Mr. Peart.
yeah.
So you're right with the composite there.
You know, I'll be perfectly honest with you. I get a lot of hate for this. Not necessarily the biggest Rush fan in the world, but I mean, not that I dislike Rush. I wouldn't say that I don't.
Sure.
But you know, I mean, Neil Peart is just he's Neil Peart. You know, I mean, how can you not like him as a drummer? You know.
It's true.
Yeah.
And a great lyricist. I mean, that's something that gets overlooked. But that was, as for me as a drummer, I think probably I didn't really aspire to his style. I was just more in awe of his technical prowess. But
Yeah.
the lyrics always kind of was like cool thing. Wow, a drummer write lyrics. That's awesome. So that kind of was an inspiration for me as a youth. But yeah, those are great. I wanted to tell you too, Smitty, there's some great drum duel records with Gene Krupa and Buddy Rich.
Yeah.
Check those out they're really good.
Yeah, I've heard one or two. I don't know. I'm sure I haven't.
Both guys play.
Yeah.
Well, and not only that, but not being a drummer, I can remind you both, Gene Krupa mentored a lot of terrific rock drummers that come to mind: Jerry Nolan, Peter Criss, and the late great Nino Danelli.
Yeah.
How much better are you going to get there?
Wow.
Yeah, he passed it on, and that's an important process.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks for mentioning. So just real quick, since let's breeze through some comments because we really appreciate our viewership. And we want to let people know that if you don't catch the show live, you can always check it out on Technicolor Dreams. That's our YouTube channel. Please subscribe. That way you'll get notifications about stuff that's coming up for Sunday Spin, Art Channel, any music videos from these crazy cats on the label, and so forth. So yeah, so let's start with our buddy Son of Snake. Shouting out to him. We love him. Thank you so much for tuning in. Got that. And then, let's see. It's going a little bit slow, so I do apologize. So what's up, guys? And then he also said, poor Nikki.
Yeah.
So we appreciate that.
Broken arm. She was getting some rock and roll last night.
Yeah.
Nikki can never get too rock and roll for Nikki.
Well,
And that's why we love her.
it's
But
not
yeah,
rock and roll till someone breaks a bone.
Those slam hits. Hey, Smitty, where's my hug? Love it. Son of Snake, you're a legend. We love you, man. Doing wonderful things with music right now.
And I owe
really
Son
is.
of Snake a hug. I do owe Son of Snake a hug. We'll air hug.
Okay. All right. We got KGG. We love you as always, girl. You're a wonderful human being. Always love your support. All right. And then we think we got some family chiming in.
That's my dad.
So your pop.
That's the guy who bought the drum set right there.
Nice to meet you. Yeah, we got a story coming up on some comments coming up. I believe that is that mom.
And that's also my mom.
Fabulous.
Ellie, thank you for joining us so much. We got wonderful comments. This is great.
Oh, look at this one.
And, yep, absolutely.
Shout out to my mom and dad.
You should be very proud, Mr. Smith. Not only that, he's a quality human being.
Yep.
Which goes 100 times more in my book, right?
A great story here. We actually brought first drum kit when you were 2 years old and started to teach Shane how to play.
Oh.
Man, cool parents. I love rock and roll parents.
I got my eardrum.
My parents were rock and roll too, so they've always let me, do the drum thing and throughout my whole life. So I appreciate that as well. And then from Walmart, rocking that thing.
The first act drum kit, right? Isn't that Walmart?
I think it might have been a first act. I don't know.
Yeah. And then
show you the photo.
Our buddy Chad from Ham. Chad, wonderful show yesterday. Man, want to talk to you more about what you do. It's incredible. Love being a part of it and seeing our buddy Son of Snake and getting mentions of Wabash Cannons. So Chad, shout out to him. You guys join up with Chad too. That's Ham. It's headphones and microphone talking about punk rock on the YouTube. So seek him out as well. And then, these guys talking back and forth. How goes it? We love you guys. Man, a lot of cool comments. We're not even through the rest of them. And then, if you guys want to just continue chatting away, and I'll show some more comments. We're getting cooking ginger garlic fried rice. Watching Son of Snake, man. We just love your support so much.
Yeah, let's get the man a cooking show.
Yes.
You're on Technicolor Dreams. What do you say?
Right at the moment, man. Thanks for taking the time, Chad. Even though you're working, this is great, you guys. We got so many comments.
I was going to tell you the story why I owe Son of Snake a free hug, but he beat me to it.
Okay. Oh, for my
thing, and it was the theme song to Lowrider, and I was just joking, and I was like, "Hey, whoever can guess this song wins a free hug," and he was the one who got it.
That's awesome, Chad. Thank you so much. Yeah, and again, what Chad's doing with the punk rock thing. I mean, I was working at the time, but I was still able to get on and interact, and it was amazing. I loved it so much. Can't wait to be a part of it. My dad tuning in, Big Bopper checking in, rock steady. Thank you.
As the Big Bopper himself would say,
hello,
baby.
All right, we got that. And Chad, thank you. Looks like Brittany.
There's my wife.
Wife's chiming in.
That's the wife. Love you.
Yeah,
It's like Sly Stone would say, right? It's a family affair.
There you go.
It is. So we got through all these comments. That was really fun. A lot of times we don't get the opportunity to do that. But and again, there's a lot of people tuning in. Thank you guys so much for interacting with us on the Sunday Spin. It means so much to us. And I know it means a lot to our guest.
Yes.
So on that note, Smitty, as we're getting low on time here, it's always important for Glenn and I to give you a minute for your shout outs. And your shout outs could be thank yous, they could be, future gigs, they could be, rules on life, your opinion on just about anything. But for the next 60 seconds before we sign off here, Smitty, we want to give you the floor. So here's your chance for your shout outs, my brother.
Well, obviously, I got a shout out to my parents and my wife for popping into the show and saying, hey, love you guys. I appreciate it. I got to shout out you guys and everyone on the Anonymous Collective crew, man. We wouldn't be doing any of this without you guys. It's going to be a good year for us.
And vice versa.
Yeah, exactly. As far as shows go, we got one coming up in about a month in Elizabeth. It's at a Lavender Festival, so it's going to be kind of an interesting, fun time, but it'll be cool. So if anyone wants to come check that out, that'd be a good time, And rules of life, just be nice, be a good person, man. Everyone's day is better when you're nice to people.
And how perfect. Just
He
real
does
quick,
not disappoint.
how can people follow you on social media and then also the music platforms of your new album?
Yeah, so you can just find me anywhere. Usually it's a Smitty with 3 Y's at the end, drummer,
Mm-hmm.
or just the sounds of Mile High.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome. Man, we really appreciate your time today. And it's been fun. And I want to talk to you too later about maybe doing a collaboration
Yeah,
with either the Skinny Mulligans or one of the other projects.
definitely.
We have a bunch of split releases coming out. The newest one is coming out on the first day of summer. It's going to be Prefab Soul and the Color of Space.
Cool.
Yeah. So like, and it's with the cool thing about the concept, it'll be one song from each artist and a third track that will be collaborative. So so CJ's working on it right now. Shout out to our buddy CJ Hackett, a la Prefab Soul, a la the Yeti.
Okay.
Bad Night for a Hero has reunited, and it feels so good, as they say. So they're
Yes.
a great local band that has been sorely missed in the indie rock scene here in Colorado Springs. And a few more comments, so let's just get there, and we got to give our love out. So looks like KGG, thank you, girl. We appreciate you very much.
Yes.
Yes, one of our wonderful people from the Poway days.
Yeah, and a listener and viewer from way back.
Yes,
And
we
I
go.
really
Yeah,
appreciate you
been a
so much.
supporter of the show since the beginning. So we love you, girl. And then great show, guys. Son of Snake, yeah.
Yes.
We're gonna have to do a at the end of this season, Vinny. We'll have to do a year-end seasonal party with everybody because it's all folks from the label, other than like Skip and a couple other folks. But we'll just have a big party at the end, probably midsummer. I think we have like 6 or 7 more guests in tow. But Smitty, man, goes no further than how more fun today was having you on the show, man.
It was a great time, man. I had a good time doing it.
Yeah, we really appreciate you.
You know, and something for future thought, Shane. Maybe we get Kyle and the rest of the band on.
Oh yeah.
Later on down the road, we would love that as well.
Great idea. Yes. Oh, and before we go, tomorrow on the Groove Yard, you can hear Smitty's new music. We're featuring 3 tracks. One of the tracks was the one you were talking about, the Angels. What is it again? The
Angels of Alma, Colorado. Yep.
Yep, that'll be featured. 3 tracks. It'll be kicking off the Groove Yard tomorrow at 6 p.m. KCOS Digital Media, 6 p.m. Mountain. So remember, if you're Eastern, that's going to be 8, and 5 o'clock if you're out there surfing with Vinny on the web.
That's it. And that's why my partner is the hardest working man in show business. Hey, before we go, Greno, of course, we'd be remiss if we didn't wish our main man, the #1 paisano, the inspiration, if you will, for us getting into this crazy podcasting business, Tony Russo, happy birthday.
Yes.
Tony, happy birthday, brother. You know me and Glenn love you very much.
Yes, Papa Russo, thank you so much. Also, Eric Brittenham, it's his birthday today. Former member of Patch, great guitar player, songwriter, kick-ass person, and amazing artist too, like astounding artist. And then yesterday, we got to give a shout out. Steve Bader's birthday was yesterday, and our buddy Frank Sesich did a little post about missing and thinking about Steve, and it was nice. I reached out. I mean, one of the most underrated rock and roll songwriting duos in the history of the game. So Frankie, we love you, and we're thinking about Steve as well. So yeah, it's a great show. You guys be kind, be good, be yourself. We'll be back next week. Not sure. Hopefully Danny Stewart. Danny can't do a Sunday spin, so we might do a preemptive, like earlier in the week type of spin, but you won't know the difference. Just tune in on Technicolor Dreams or Facebook Live. Head on over to the Bandcamp pages, please, of the anonymous collective artists such as Smitty and Prefab Soul. We got Glass Parade. Man, so many, Vinny. Skinny Mulligan's got some new stuff coming out. So
yeah, I'm excited, but even more so than the Mulligans, which obviously I'm excited about. I'm so excited at all the new artists and new material that's coming through the pike. It's that conveyor belt of quality is just getting more and more crowded all the time, and it's a beautiful thing to share. So keep indie rock alive, guys.
yeah,
We're all we have.
People like Smitty on board,
Yeah.
Bob Individual. I mean, these are some really internationally recognized artists, and Smitty, I want to just congratulate you on all your pre-sales too for your record. That's
thank
dude.
you. Appreciate that.
Sky's the limit, baby. So
Yeah.
you go get it. I love it so
I
much.
appreciate it.
Thank you, Shane Greno. I'll see you next week. Everybody, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you in 7 days.
Yes,
Yeah.
rocking and rolling, everybody. We'll see you next week. Sunday Spin. Everyone be good all week, and then next weekend be bad. All right. See you guys.
Later.